on a date, or do you expect them to and if he texts you to ask you on a date, are you okay with that, or?
You know, I really don't care. I mean, in order to date me, I think you got to be really, really persistent because I'm so busy, and it's kind of like my work always been first, and I really enjoy my work. So you have to be that very, very special person. So I don't care how you ask me out via text, in person, on phone. I think phone always works better with me. I don't know about others, but I think texting is kind of weak.
You think it's kind of weak? Okay.
I think it's, you know, people hide behind the text, and they're not so ballsy. So I like them to pick up the phone, see what time it is, and I also like to hear the tone of the voice, and if they could just roll with me and hang with me. So
that's true, because they maybe when they ask you out, they may sound all weird. Like, you know, when they regularly speak to you, it's just like, hey, Frankie, how you doing?
Right.
And then when they ask you out, you want to go to dinner with me?
Basically,
you know?
yeah. I'm like, put some bass in that. Yeah.
Because I read an article today in USA Today about how texting has changed the dating landscape and how it's easier. And there's a lot of girls out there that prefer to be asked out via text because then they don't have to say no over the phone.
That's really strange, but okay.
Is it right? Like, okay, here's the fun.
I mean, I get it, but it's a little strange.
Because obviously, Frank, you have a lot of girlfriends,
Right.
I'd imagine, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they run the gamut of what they want. And girls are always like, some girls are like, they have to call me to ask me out. They have to. And then other girls are like, no, I don't care if they text, that's fine. So, as a guy, like, how are you supposed to know?
You don't.
You don't
just
know,
you know
right?
what? Sometimes, you know what? At the same time, it's very exciting texting because you could just be like, meet me here, da 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 da, and it's just kind of exciting. There was no vocal exchange, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're just like at the restaurant. And you're like, it's kind of exciting that way too. So it's really
exciting until he starts using so many emoticons, and then you're like, I don't know
you're
about
like,
this
calm
guy,
down,
man.
kick back.
Guys
hold
should not
on,
use so
you're
many
looking a little
emoticons or emoticons at all.
So, have you ever seen someone text and, like, I've never seen anyone text and, like, just laugh. But you know they're texting LOL the whole time.
But they're not laughing out loud.
Their face is so serious. LOL. Like, oh, that was so funny. But their face is the same. I think that's just how we become now. It's like, okay, I think a LOL should be inserted here.
Right.
But they're not really laughing.
Plus, we use exclamation points to be polite because sometimes if you don't, but then they're not really like, you're not really like that hyped up about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, sounds good! You know what I'm saying? Instead of just sounds good, man.
Right.
You know, or like, you know, you do the texting and they're like, I use emoticons because I like to let them know I'm joking. Because sometimes, like, they won't know.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I'm being a girl by smiley facing and using it. So it's like,
See,
there's that in me.
I've always used emoticons because it's the only way to kind of like give a tone.
What kind of emoticons though?
I use like the semicolon and the.
You use
the
the winky.
capital P.
You use the winky face.
I use the winky to let them know I'm kidding.
Not to the guys, dude. Come on.
No, not to guys.
Please.
I don't text.
You
dudes.
can't use.
I don't text. Dudes
You can't use a winky face to
No,
another
I don't
dude.
text dudes at all because that's weird. But no, I'll use like those emoticons to let them know like I'm kidding and whatnot. But because if you don't do that, then it's like, oh, you're a jerk. But it's like I was just kidding. It's,
Right.
you know.
I mean, in texting, it's so many misunderstandings.
There is.
So it's like if you really like the girl, all men out there listening, just pick up the phone and call her so there's no miscommunications. Okay.
True that.
If you really like her. Now, if you really don't like her, just keep it texting.
See, but here's the irony about the whole thing. Because there's a lot of girls out there that I'm sure Frankie knows and PK knows that they're like, a guy needs to call me to get a date or whatever. But then when you call them and you leave a message, they're like, hey, you know, I left you a message. Oh, I don't check my voicemail. Look, you can't have it both ways, right? If you want them to call you, you've got to also check your voicemail. You can't have it both ways.